In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
in your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
in your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
The best radio show.
Are you ready to turn it up? All around the world.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
in your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
This is Star Radio UK.
The best radio show.
This is Star Radio UK.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
This is Star Radio UK.
Wow, and a very good evening and welcome to the Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'd like to welcome those of you that have joined us. In just about a few minutes, we will be okay, what have I done there? Bear with me. Alright, yeah, I think that's it. Good evening and welcome to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and this is
Star Radio UK.
If this is your first time of joining us, I would like to appreciate those of you that have joined us. It is the Wednesday edition, and you know how we do it when we come into the studio. It is what it is. I say good evening and welcome to everyone that have joined us on all the platforms. Most importantly, make sure you follow us on the Star Radio UK.
This is Star Radio UK.
Are you ready to?
The best radio show.
All around the world.
Let's turn it up.
Are you ready to turn it up?
I say let's what?
Are you ready to turn it up?
Shout out to my producer, Mr. Frank David, Mr. Archie Armand, that have working very tirelessly, especially last week. We had this sound that was coming through, and many of you were not happy. If you just want to tell us if the sound is a little bit better, it's just 18 minutes past, 1800 hours. My name is Olayomi Koiki. I welcome those of you that have joined us. I welcome those of you that will be joining us as we go into the program. There is a lot to discuss tonight. There is a lot happening, and there's a lot of conversation. I want you to stick behind and let us enjoy.
This is Star Radio UK.
It is called Niger Voices. Where do we start from? I'm just trying to work out, where we should start from tonight, because there's a lot happening, and I hope you can hear me loud and clear for those of you that are watching us on the Star Radio UK platform. Once again, this is
Star Radio UK.
It is the Star Radio UK. This is every Wednesday when I come on air and I tell you what is happening mostly in Nigeria, mostly about the Yorubas, the Biafras, the Hausas, the 500 or 300 ethnic groups that was matched together. So we're going to be talking about the self-determination. What is the way forward? In the next 72 hours, there is going to be something happening for those of us that are involved in the struggle, or what we can call the right to self-determination. So I want us to sit back as I will prepare the program tonight. There is a lot happening in Nigeria. I have been following the president. He's been traveling around the world. And I'm going to be telling you where I've been today. It's all about the London Business Show that took place at the London Excel. What are the things I can tell you, and what are the things that could be of benefit to you, especially if you are a startup. You want to start a business? You're thinking of starting one. How do you set up a business? Let's start with this, and I come back on my seat in just about 10 seconds. I'm sure some of you remember Jekomo. That is Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igbowo. I would like to appreciate once again my producer, Mr. Archie, Mr. Frank David, that are working tirelessly, and all the sound engineer and all the presenter on the Star Radio UK. Let me give you the quote of the day. I mean, every Wednesday we tell you what is happening and what it is when it comes to quote of the day. Do you know that you are also an influencer? Everyone has an influence. Every one of us has influence. So whatever we do, it is something that someone, 3, 4, 5 people are working on, and they're watching. So when we talk about the influence, when we talk about the influence of what is happening today, I want you to sit back, because once again,
This is Star Radio UK.
I'm going to be telling you President Muhammadu Buhari's interview. He granted an interview, and there's been a lot of response. There's been a lot of Nigerians that are reacting to that interview. What is the interview all about, and what is entailed in that interview that the President Muhammadu Buhari, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, granted? And this has literally brought a lot of reaction. The question is the former president having what we call hearings of problems? Because each time he was asked question, is giving a different answer, and I'm not too sure why that is happening. Once again, a very good evening to you on Mobolaji. I can tell you now, I can see some of you in the comment section. Good evening on Mobolaji. Abdullahi says, President Buhari, man, President Jaga Bandit. Abiodun Monday, good evening to you. Isheshe Adura, good evening to you. Ajiboye, shout out to those of you that are watching us. Remember that you can also follow us on the Star Radio UK, where we're streaming from. It's a very busy night, and I'm going to be sharing everything you need to know. But for now, I'm asking the question. And what is the question? The question is, the former President Muhammadu Buhari, we have now been told, bankrupt Nigeria. So the question is, would this president easy dollar? This is for you.
Welcome.
Once again, all the way in Miami.
Welcome.
Shout out to you, Akinlade Oluwafumilola.
Welcome.
Iyola Adedoyin.
Welcome.
To Professor Banji Akintoye.
Welcome.
To Dr. Oloye Sunday Igbowo.
Welcome.
All Omo Odua.
Welcome.
And if you're not too sure what platform you are, it is called
This is Star Radio UK.
Come on, turn it up a little bit.
Are you ready to turn it up?
I say good evening and welcome to those of you. Mr. Sunday Adebanjo say Yoruba Nation no going back. We'll be coming to Yoruba Nation because I have a good news for every one of you. You must have to sit back because we'll be telling you that towards the end of the program. Shout out to Bishop Adeshina. Shout out to every one of us that have joined so far. But one thing you can do for me, remember to tell somebody that Star Radio UK is live and they should come and sit back and let us shout out and say there is a lot happening and we want to tell you what is happening in Nigeria. So tell your friends,
like my favorite song on this.
Tell your friend to also be part of this program as well. Yemi Fatoki, shout out to you and a very good evening once again.
This is Star Radio UK.
Okay, sorry, I think there's something that has I've clicked on something there, and I think that is sorted out. That is sorted out. That is definitely sorted out. We don't want any other background noise because it's very, very important. Shout out to those of you in Oshodi, Lagos, all those of you in Kwara, Anambra, all those of you in Kaduna. If you're watching me in Kenya, South Africa, in Miami, California, New York, I welcome every one of you.
Welcome.
If you're watching me in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, what is going on with the visa? I've been told that has been resolved, but it seems that has not been resolved. The daily code that is coming on the Star Radio UK.
Welcome.
And again,
This is Star Radio UK.
everyone has influence. Our attitude and level of happiness are reflected in the things we say and do. Those affect others. What kind of impact do you usually have? Do you make impact like President Muhammadu Buhari, the former president that left Nigeria bankrupt? Emefiele has now been granted 300 million naira bail condition. Wow, these guys have got so much money. While Nigerians are struggling to have 3 square meal, Emefiele has so much money. Good evening to those of you. Enye Adenafiu, Adetunji Adedeji, Olabi John, Olumide, and those of you that have joined us on all the platforms. Once again, my name is Olayomi Koiki, and I welcome you to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. We know that there's been this message that has been coming back to back when it comes to the former president Muhammadu Buhari. He granted an interview, and that interview has generated a lot of conversation. I'm going to be telling you some of what we know, but I'm asking a question again. Why did Buhari fail as a president? Was his government hijacked? Was it because he could not manage the affairs of Nigeria? Or should we say that Nigerians are very difficult people to manage? Which one do you want to take? Because I know that we have so many Nigerians that expected the best from the former president after trying for more than 3 times until Baba Tinubu came in and said, Buhari, this is not how you play the card in politics. When it comes to politics, you have to come and meet people like us so that we can manage you. Once again,
This is Star Radio UK.
can you please turn it up?
Are you ready to turn it up?
My name is Olayomi Koiki, and this is your first time. Can you just make sure you've turned it up, thumbs up, make sure you share it, and tell somebody that we are live on the Star Radio UK. Once again, a very good evening. The weather is very nippy outside, very, very cold. I can tell you that. But one thing about London is that the moment it gets to 4 o'clock, the weather starts changing, and if you're not very careful, you don't want to leave your house. But we want to be in the studio. We want to make sure that we are here in the studio so that we can represent and we can serve all our viewers and listeners from around the globe. Muhammadu Buhari, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, failed woefully that the new administration literally said that Buhari bankrupted Nigeria. And I'm asking the question, should we now ask the new administration under Nuru Ribadu to arrest the former president Muhammadu Buhari? What do you think? Do you think that we should arrest Buhari for mismanaging Nigeria, that Nigeria became a country that lost so much value, that has no more money? Should we go after the former president since there's no more, what we can call immunity? Should we now be asking for President Muhammadu Buhari to come and answer some of the crime against humanity, or should we just let it go? Should we just let it go? or should we say enough is enough? Ayodeji Oluwafemi, there's a lot happening in Ibadan, and maybe we should remind you that Ibadan is a very, very important place in Yoruba land. And we would like to give shout out to those that are operating from Ibadan, because in the last few hours, many of our correspondents have been giving us what we can call the best of Asha, Ishe, Ile Yoruba. The event is going on for the next couple of days. So if you are traveling to Ibadan, you might want to say hello to those that are putting this together. We would like to appreciate those that are on the ground, all the media that are working around the clock, and the organizer of this very important event. Let's take this just to remind you that the event runs again tomorrow.
This is Star Radio UK.
Àṣà àti ìṣe wa ò ní parun láíláí. Ìdí nìyí tí YNFF Board of Trustees ṣe ń ṣonígbọ̀wọ́ eré ìdíje àṣà àti ìṣe Yorùbá nípínlẹ̀ mẹ́jọ, ìpínlẹ̀ Kogi, Kwara, Èkó, Ọ̀ṣun, Oǹdó, Èkìtì, Ọ̀yọ́ àti ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn. Láwọn ìpínlẹ̀ tí ìdíje bí ayò ọlọ́pọ́n, ìjàkadì, ijó ìbílẹ̀, ìdíje ẹwà àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ yóò ti máa wáyé látọjọ́ Monday, November 6, 2023 títí di November 13, 2023. Ní final audition máa wáyé láwọn ìpínlẹ̀ wọ̀nyí láti yan àwọn tó perégedé láti ṣojú ìpínlẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan nínú ìdíje àṣekágbá tí á wáyé ní Buhari'S Hotel nìbàdàn November 21 l'Arrival Day. Ìdíje á wáyé ní November 22 títí di November 24 ní Buhari'S Hotel nílùú Ìbàdàn. Ẹni sọ lẹ́nu sàpò ìyàkọ́ odò tó bá gbàgbé orísun ṣetán láti parun ní ẹ̀já àjọ gbárùkù ti díje àṣà àti ṣe ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tẹlẹ́kùnjẹkùn yìí. Fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé tàbí ẹ fẹ́ sonígbọ̀wọ́ tàbí olùrànlọ́wọ́ ẹ lè kàn sí Mr. Wasiu Àìná lórí +134 7500 9472 Ajia Queen Ara +447 946 313 160 Mrs. Roslyn +141 699 22189 tàbí T-Bex +234 816 049 5979. Aṣọ ìbílẹ̀ nìkan la yàn láàyò níbi àwọn ìdíje wọ̀nyí. Ìdíje àṣà àti ìṣe ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹlẹ́kùnjẹkùn ọdún 2023 Yorùbá World in Action YNFF ló ní àṣà àti ìṣe wa ò ní parun láéláé.
And again, that happens tomorrow. Make sure if you're still interested, you can join them tomorrow. A very fantastic event that is going on. I'll be telling you a little bit more about that. Rishi Sunak as well. There's a lot happening in UK that we're going to be telling you when it comes to national insurance has now been cut by 2% for more than 27 million people in an autumn statement. This is actually coming from the Chancellor. I'll be telling you what you need to know on that. But also, there is a lot happening. The United States wants Indian overplot to kill the Sikh separatists. In New York Times is coming up with that. What is the part for life? New pension reform? Whatever you need to know, make sure you sit back because there's still a lot to discuss. This is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and it is called
This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
Once again, I would like to appreciate my producer, Mr. Frank David, and Mr. Archie, for telling us that every Wednesday, this is how we roll it out. Now, let's come back to the conversation. The former President Muhammadu Buhari, what can we say about him? What can we share about him? Shout out to those of you, Abayomi Tisley. Good evening to you, and as many of you that have joined us, welcome to the Star Radio UK, the finest African. Shegun Yovo, a very good evening to you. And good evening to my mom. Good evening to Professor Banji Akintoye. Let me take us back to this headline. Nigeria, they extremely difficult to lead. I know build any house. This is coming from President Muhammadu Buhari. And this is actually, in broken English. So let's read it. Former President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, don't come out to talk, waiting in eye, see for office for the 8 years where he lead the country. Oh my Lord. 17 minutes past, and I welcome once again to those of you that have joined us on the Star Radio UK network. Buhari talk said to come out office after 8 years. Now, very happy experience for him. Do you think that the President Muhammadu Buhari performed very well running the affairs of Nigeria for 8 years? I would have moved to Niger Republic, says the former President Muhammadu Buhari. I don't think Buhari can get to the border because there's no relationship between Nigeria and Niger as we speak right now. So if Buhari is trying to go to Niger, I'm not too sure how he plans to get there. Once again, the Daily Kos says, and I quote, everyone has influence. Our attitude and level of happiness are reflected in the things we say and do, and those affect others. What kind of impact do you usually leave? Do you usually have? Do you create impact that people can say, thank you so much for serving humanity? Or do you just say, I can't be bothered, I will do whatever I want to do, and no one is going to question me on what I'm going to do? What kind of impact has the former president Muhammadu Buhari left for many Nigerians? What kind of impact? Do you think that he left the best impact? Or do you think that it is time that we question this former president for running Nigeria grounded? What kind of impact do you plan to leave? Well, remember that as we live in this world, we are only going to be here for a very, very limited period of time. And we must continue to create impact. Good evening to you, Mr. Tony Ages. Omobolaji Abdullahi say, as you enter the program, I beg share and thumbs up if you love the program. Mr. Sheon Lawal, a very good evening to you. And as I say all the time, we all have a role to play. Star Radio UK is playing the role. Niger Voices is playing the role. I am playing my role, and I hope you will be playing yours as well. My question again is it now that we call for the arrest of the former president Muhammadu Buhari, or should we just let it pass? There's a lot happening as NNPP appeals Governor Yusuf sacking at the Supreme Court. What is going on when it comes to the Nigerian economy? Do you think that the Nigerian economy can survive? Do you think that the economy will be able to survive? Probably, maybe, just maybe, another 60 years. Do you think that the Nigerian economy can survive another 60 years? Should we start asking questions, or should we just allow things to flow? The Nigerian economy is in a distress. According to the CSO, seeks for relief for Nigeria. The president is saying that we can still revive the Nigerian economy. How? I don't know. How the president plans to do that, I am not sure. But what I can tell you is that as we speak right now, many Nigerians are struggling to have 3 square meals. Should we now hold President Muhammadu Buhari for bankrupting Nigeria? What do you think? The new president Bola Tinubu says, and I quote, investors can come to Nigeria. They will do whatever has to be done to allow investors to be in Nigeria, create the enabling environment, to create the jobs. President Bola Tinubu seeks Germany investment in some of our critical sectors. What are the critical sectors? Once again,
This is Star Radio UK.
The best radio show.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
President Tinubu is seeking German to invest in critical sector. We had the same thing, the same rhetoric from the former president Muhammadu Buhari. I am now asking the question, should we now say President Muhammadu Buhari should be called to question? The COVID inquiry is currently going on, and I believe sometime next week, the former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and the current UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak will be attending the inquiries that is currently going on at the COVID in central London. Is Buhari too big to be called back and questioned, or should we just accept that after the interview, that is it? No more questioning, and we should allow President Buhari, the former president, to rest. Do you think that we should allow the former president Muhammadu Buhari to rest, or should we now call him back and hold him accountable for destroying the Nigerian economy and running it aground? As we speak right now, the president or the former president says, I would have moved to Niger Republic. Why do you think that the former president Muhammadu Buhari, a former military dictator, is planning to move to Niger if he has not done anything wrong? Former President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday this week said he still gets visitors from various parts of the country despite living as far away from the country's capital as possible. In an interview he granted with the NTA, Conversation with History, that was aired on the Monday night, why do you think that Buhari granted that interview? Was it just to save his head? After Nuru Ribadu, the National Security Advisor, told Nigerians that the former President Muhammadu Buhari and his government, Yemi Osinbajo, and every of their cabinet bankrupt Nigeria. Emefiele is still currently being held, but he has been given 300 million naira bail condition. My question again is, the dollar was just less than 500 as at the time Buhari was leaving office. As I speak to Nigerians today, the dollar is almost about 1,000 naira to the dollar. The question is on...
This is Star Radio UK.
Should we now recall the former President Muhammadu Buhari for questioning? Or should we just allow him to continue to accept visitors? Let's hear what he said in that interview he granted. President Buhari said people charter buses and come to see me from time to time. I thought I had stayed as far away from Abuja as possible, but they still come. I would have gone to Niger if the borders were open. So President Buhari knows very well that the border between Nigeria has now closed, and that literally means that he would not be traveling to Niger anytime soon. Why do you think he wanted to run away to Niger? Is it because of visitors or because he has committed crime against humanity? According to National Security Advisor Nuru Ribadu, the former President Muhammadu Buhari bankrupted Nigeria. Should we now hold him accountable for the 8 years of destroying the Nigerian economy? As I speak to you today, the Nigerian economy is in galloping. Good evening to you, Mrs. Clara Ayilara, and welcome once again. And this is how I say to you,
welcome.
If you're joining me for the very first time, I say,
welcome.
And this is
Star Radio UK.
Turn it up, turn it up.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Sunday Adebanjo, good evening once again. And to those of you that have joined us, welcome to the Star Radio UK network. My name is Olayomi Koiki. The former President Muhammadu Buhari says, and I quote, that Nigeria, he would have loved to travel to Niger so that it can avoid visitors. Let's go into it a little bit. Earlier, the Daura-born former head of state said he did not miss being in power much. Why would he want to miss the power when he actually misused the power? When he actually allowed more terrorists to operate in Nigeria? Many Nigerians are living in fear. Many local governments are now under the control of the terrorists, the Boko Haram, the ISIS. Even the farmers, as of last week, have to now harvest their crops early because of the terrorism happening. The governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, told Nigerians that Nigeria will be wiped off the map should we not do as much as possible with the children at the internal display people, IDP. That is something we got to be concerned about. Like I said, those of you that are Yoruba Nation, maybe you want to stay behind, because in 72 hours there will be a very, very important, I will leave that towards that time. Once again,
this is Star Radio UK.
Buhari was asked if he missed Aso Rock, because remember that when the former president was exiting Aso Rock, we saw one of the video that he actually tapped the chair. Not too sure why. Ijaya, very good evening to you. Kunle Baker, shout out to you. Easy Dollar, good evening. Mrs. Comfort Ologunja, Mrs. Bemileke, and GR1 and the rest of the Yorubas around the world. My name is Olayomi Koiki. I believe I am trying my best but still my best is not good enough. I wonder if I am going to miss much. I think I am being harassed, he stated. In December 2022, 6 months before former President Muhammadu Buhari handed over power to his successor, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Buhari said he would not miss his time as the president of Nigeria because his best was not good enough for Nigerians. I am now asking those of our listeners, our viewers around the world, whether you are from an African country, do you think that the former President Muhammadu Buhari performed very well? Or should we hold him accountable for the crime against humanity? Genocide took place under the Buhari's regime. Many people in the southeast, many of those are killed because the hatred that the former president had for the southeast led to the Twitter suspending his account while President not suspending his account. They actually pulled down a post because the former president was reminding the Igbos of what happened during the Biafra war. That was not good enough for the social media platform that is now known as X Place. That was then Twitter. Jack removed that tweet. What then happened was the hatred, the saddest part of Buhari decided to then do what? Shut down Twitter in Nigeria for almost 6 months. And the former Minister of Information, the liar, the Lai Mohammed, the big liar, the liar of the time, told us that there was nothing wrong in that. But yet, many Nigerians that operate on Twitter, before it has now been changed to X, lost revenue. The question is, the social media is a powerful tool, and when I went down to Excel today, at the start of Grow Your Dream Business, one of the biggest business events in London that took place today and is going to be happening tomorrow, face-to-face network with thousands of entrepreneurs. Many Nigerians rely on their revenue from Twitter, and that was shut down for 6 months by the former President Muhammadu Buhari because he has hatred for the Igbos in the southeast. The question then is, do you think that we should continue to hold on to Nigeria when there's marginalization, when many Nigerians are crying out for being marginalized? The same marginalization, the same nepotism that Buhari played out is what Tinubu is doing as we speak right now. Can we really continue in this trajectory? Is it time now we start asking questions? Can we remain one formidable country, or should we be coming on the round table and having discussion on the future of Nigeria? I am still on the President Muhammadu Buhari, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and this is
Star Radio UK.
Turn it up.
Are you ready to turn it up? All around the world.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Do you think that the former President Muhammadu Buhari was harassed? Do you think that whatever he did with the former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was good enough for Nigeria? But we are now being told by the new administration, the same APC, that Buhari bankrupted Nigeria. Once again, a very good evening and welcome to the conversation. Nigerians too hard to govern. There probably was a cabal in my government. The question I'm asking, Great Yoruba Nation, shout out to you. Silver Badmos, shout out to you. And also many of you that have joined us. Okoya Afolayan, shout out to you. Olokwe J, shout out to you. And Olanrewaju, my big brother. Ifatoki Ugbe, shout out to you, sir. Biafra Olilan, shout out to you. I'm asking the question again. Were Nigerians had to govern, or they were just asking for the little? Good evening to you, Mrs. Comfort Ologunja, a very good supporter of the Star Radio UK and a very good friend of myself and the Yoruba Nation campaign. Shout out to you, Mom. Shout out to you, grandmother, and welcome to the Star Radio UK. My topic tonight is focused on the former President Muhammadu Buhari says, and I quote, Nigerians are just too hard to govern. If you're watching us on the Star Radio UK YouTube channel, please let us know if we are not having generator like Mrs. Comfort Ologunja told me last week. Thank you so much. The engineer worked very hard for the last couple of days to rectify the problem. And this problem has now been removed from the...
This is Star Radio UK.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Well, you can listen to us on the smartphone, and like I said, in 72 hours, something great is about to happen in the Yoruba nation. I'll be telling you all about that later on. As I continue with the program, thank you so much. Adekunle Plenty. Shout out to those of you on the Instagram. We couldn't go live on the MixLR, but next week we might be live on the MixLR. I say, Ekabo Surieto.
Welcome.
My name is Olayomi Koiki. This is Niger Voices. Otumba Destiny, good evening to you. Mamawa Joke Bodorin, Mofi Tawoto, Mofi Daruko Imama, Moni.
Welcome.
Ekabo Surieto. At exactly 7:30, it will be much of Yoruba, but for now, we are speaking to our international audience on the...
This is Star Radio UK.
From South Africa to Johannesburg City to Kenya to Rwanda. Oh, Rwanda. It seems that Rishi Sunak could not get us to Rwanda because asylum seekers, according to the Supreme Court, are not going anywhere yet. I am still on the former President Muhammadu Buhari and the interview he granted 8 years. Can we now say that the former President Muhammadu Buhari was a real failure and we should now hold him accountable for the trillions of naira that were wasted on so many projects and so many reasons that has now turned Nigeria into bankrupt? Good evening once again. No generator today. I say,
Welcome.
thank you so much, Mrs. Comfort Ologunja. I love you so much, mommy, and we can't love you less. She said no more generator, not like Nigeria. I'm asking Nigerians, what was your expectation when Buhari and Yemi? Remember that we were told that Yemi Osinbajo was the best, he was a brilliant, and he's a very good man. I mean, when it comes to what he knows, but I am not sure how he allowed former president himself, Buhari, to give him the all-go to kidnap and rendition Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. Once again, good evening to you, Adekunle Alade. Good evening, and keep your comment coming. I want to read as many of that on former President Muhammadu Buhari. Do you think that we can now say that Buhari failed woefully, or should we just allow him to rest? Shakil, good evening to you. Adeola, good evening to you. If you're watching in Libya, shout out to you. From Morocco, shout out to you. From Qatar, shout out to you. And from Afghanistan, good evening. From India, good evening. Ife Oluwatos to say, Mr. Koiki, do you hear what is going on in Kano since morning? There has been a protest in Kano since morning, Baba. Check into this, please. Well, you've actually told us, and I'm sure many people will be asking, what is going on in Kano? I know that those Kano have been protesting, just like Kaduna has been protesting. When the northern part of Nigeria are protesting, the police running away from them. Thank you so much, Adekunle Alade. Okoya Folayan, shout out to you and your group. I can say all the time, should we now say that the former President Muhammadu Buhari was a big failure? Mrs. Tony Fakos Ashake Ekabo Surieto. Mrs. Joke, our mother, Mama Lalubarika, said they need him for questioning. He actually failed totally. That is what I'm saying. Thank you for agreeing with me. It seems that many people do not agree with me that we should bring Buhari back for questioning. Maybe next week, we might show you how things are done in UK. The former Prime Minister Boris Johnson would have to come and answer questions at the ongoing inquiries of the COVID. What led and what happened? What were the mistakes that the government put in place? How many people died during the COVID? Who should be held responsible? Questioning a former president, a former prime minister shouldn't be a problem. But in Africa, it is a big problem. And maybe Bola Tinubu should tell us that fighting corruption will start from this former President Muhammadu Buhari. Let's go further again. Former President Muhammadu Buhari also said that Nigerians are a difficult bunch of people to manage. What an insult to Nigerians. What a total insult to Nigerians. Maybe we should do what?
Are you ready to turn it up?
On where?
This is Star Radio UK.
The best radio show.
How can a president that spends so much money traveling from point A to B, spend medical appointment, medical time, removing his tooth, hearing rate in London, is now telling me to tell Nigerians that you are all bunch of people that he couldn't manage? What a total failure of this president called himself Buhari. Once again, my job is to bring it to you in the speed of what you need to know. If you're joining us again, the Daily Code says everyone has influence. Shout out again to Easy Dollar. Shout out to many of you that are watching us from around the world, in Japan, in Hong Kong, and those of you in Turkey, in Cyprus, and most of you in Benin Republic. Shout out to Professor Adebanji Akintoye. The Daily Code says, and I quote, everyone has an influence. Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho has an influence. Can we now also say that Buhari has an influence on Tinubu, or Tinubu is going to do something different? Because Buhari went after Jonathan. I remember when Buhari came to power in 2015, after Jonathan lost out, Buhari literally went after almost everything under the PDP. Would Bola Tinubu have the balls? Would he have the guts to make sure that he can go after Buhari just like he's doing with Emefiele? I am not here to defend Emefiele. Emefiele has his legal team. But my question is, are we saying that Emefiele, the former central bank governor, was the only person that this current administration must go after? What about Rotimi Amechi? What about the cabinet minister, Fashola, and the rest of them? Should we set up a panel and bring each and every single former minister under Buhari for questioning on how they were able to manage the affairs of Nigeria for 8 years, from 2015 up to 2023. Once again, this is
Star Radio UK
and the morning show. As we say all the time, we all have a role to play. We all have a role to play.
All around the world.
10.
This is Star Radio UK.
Should we call every single former cabinet minister to come and start up? Should President Bola Tinubu set up a panel to find out how the mismanagement that led to the bankrupt? I am not the one saying this. This is what Nuri Ribadu, the National Security Advisor, told Nigerians last week. But Buhari says Nigerians are just very difficult people to manage. What a total insult. Let me go to Woolwich and hear what my brother Triple DRS is saying right there. Let's first talk about what Mrs. Comfort Ologunja says, and I quote, there shall be no peace for the wicked. I love that. We don't want like wicked people. Buhari had the best opportunity after he failed more than 3 times to become the president until Emilio Kan, the new president, brought him in. Buhari traveled around the world. His family were taken care of. His son had a motorbike accident. He was flew to Germany. Buhari himself spent many months in London. Triple DRS says, brother, remember this Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said he will continue where Buhari stopped. So please don't expect anything from this man. They will rather go after the opposition. But the opposition did not manage the affairs of Nigeria in the last 8 years.
This is Star Radio UK.
Shout out to many of you that are struggling. I hope the Nigerian economy will bounce back. But that is just a hope. Like I said, the event that we attended today continue to give me the hope that the UK economy will continue to strive, because setting up a new business, working with the government to protect your interest. Would the President Bola Tinubu protect the interest of Nigeria business? What is the Nigeria economy today? I'm coming back to that. It is still 1900 hours. If you're watching me from Nigeria, you are 1 hour ahead of us. Abiodun Lawrence, good evening to you. As you're entering the program, maybe you might also love, share, and tell someone that Star Radio UK, Niger Voices, is back on the air tonight.
This is Star Radio UK.
Mamawa Joke Bodun says, and I quote, yes, of course, President Bola Tinubu needs to set up what we call the inquiry line. Someone says, I dislike Fashola. Why? Fashola was the good guy in Lagos State. He performed very well, only if you want to tell lies. But what about as a cabinet minister? Did Fashola perform very well? That will be during the inquiry, when we have independent senior advocate of Nigeria interrogating them, just as we are going to interrogate Boris Johnson next week for what took place during the COVID in London or United Kingdom. My name is Olayomi Koiki. This is
Star Radio UK.
Turn it up, turn it up.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Should we set up, or not me, should the new administration, but my brother all the way in Woolwich, shout out to those of you in Woolwich. I say good evening to all our traders, our artisans that are working tirelessly, mostly in Nigeria, in the very little capacity. I mean, I saw many individuals packed up at the London Excel Center, face-to-face networking with thousands of entrepreneurs. And I have a good news as well, because there's something that I'm going to share with you, and I'm sure you're going to like that. I got something out of that. I'm sure you will support my brand. I'm sure some of you will be saying, yes, we've been waiting for this, Mr. Koiki. Just set it out and we will be helping you on that. I'll be telling you a little bit about that before the end of the program, because we are now partner with a very good platform, a good organization in UK, where you can buy one or two things that could be of benefit to you. But I'm not going to give you the name now. I'll be telling you a little bit more. So you might just want to sit back when the time comes for me to tell you that. Once again,
this is Star Radio UK.
My name is Olayomi Koiki. According to Adekunle Plenty, the presidential seat has been... Okay, let's bring this back here so that I can read it a little bit much better. The presidential seat has been contaminated. Adekunle Plenty, you're not a very good guy. And this is for you once again.
Welcome.
On where?
This is Star Radio UK.
Adekunle Plenty says, and I quote, the presidential seat has been contaminated with the former President Muhammadu Buhari virus. Nothing good can come out from Nigeria presidential seat until it is dissolved. Great Yoruba Nation say, Fashola destroyed 2 of my family stores without compensation. So I think that's the reason why you don't like him. I don't think Lagosians will be happy with you on that. All right, that's a joke on the side. Good evening to you, Mr. Ola. Good evening to those of you that are going to be watching this later. But for now, I'm saying good evening to our mother. We have a lot of mothers that are watching us, and we have to respect them and say appreciation to them as they are joining the program. Mrs. Adetola Adetoye Olashupo Ekabo Sorieto Mama Lalubarika, and this is for you on the Star Radio UK.
Welcome.
On the
This is Star Radio UK.
Ogunyeju Wahub says good evening, and I say good evening to you. Keep it coming. I'll be reading the comment out. President Muhammadu Buhari at about 1900 hours at 7 p.m. We're going to move away from Buhari and we're going to be talking about something else entirely. But for now, Buhari said Nigerians are difficult bunch of people to manage because they think they should be on the saddle, not you. Okay, let's look for the meaning of saddle. Those are big English. What is the meaning of saddle? Let's look for the meaning of saddle quickly. What is the meaning? When we talk about saddle, what is the meaning? Once again, this is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Saddle. Saddle. He was in a stable saddling up his horse. Saddle. A seat fastening on the back of a horse. Why is Buhari using that phrase on Nigerians? This is a president that enjoyed so much out of Nigeria, but says, and I quote, that Nigerians are saddle people. Saddle is a supportive structure for a rider of an animal, fastened to the animal's back. You know that little stuff that they put on the back of the horse? What is going on with some of these politicians? Mr. Olaide Hassan, welcome to the program, sir. Let's go further. The immediate past president, Muhammadu Buhari, spoke in an interview with the NTA on Monday. This will be his first since handing over the reins of affairs to President Bola Tinubu in May. God gave me the opportunity to serve my country, but I did my best. Do you think that the former President Muhammadu Buhari did his best?
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
This is Star Radio UK.
The best radio show.
I'm asking again, do we think that former President Muhammadu Buhari did his best? But whether my best was good enough, I leave for the people to judge. Former President Muhammadu Buhari says, and I quote,
This is Star Radio UK.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Mamawa Joke Boduri says, and I quote, capital no, former President Muhammadu Buhari, you never did your best. Rather, you ran Nigeria aground. Many Nigerians have now become endangered to the terrorists, the Boko Haram, the ISIS, and many other criminals that are operating in Nigeria. Triple DRS says he served his people, Fulani, not Nigeria. Wow. Interesting time ahead. Maybe that is why 2 billion was borrowed, a loan that Buhari wanted to construct a rail network to Niger. But right now the border is closed and the former president is stuck in Nigeria. Let's go further. There were rumors of Kaaba hijacking the former President Muhammadu Buhari presidency from the early days of his administration. Remember that the wife, Aisha Buhari, the then First Lady, lent the credence to the installation in 2016, a year after the former President Muhammadu Buhari came into power, when she said, "You will know them, the hijackers, if you watch television." How do we know the hijackers? How do we know when something has been hijacked? How can we, the ordinary citizen, know that the government of former President Muhammadu Buhari has been hijacked? I'm asking the question again. Do you think that was hijacked? Adeniyi Ade Jubril, good evening to you. In all the 774 local government in Nigeria, I say shout out to you. In the Abuja capital city, I say shout out to you. If you're watching me in Gombe, Plateau State, the Golden Voice, good evening to you. Once again, good news on the Yoruba Nation campaign, but you would have to wait till at the time when we come into that. Let me look at what Mrs. Comfort is telling me again when it comes to the comment section. Good evening to you, to a beautiful mother, my mom, and welcome. And she says, good evening, Olayomi Koiki on Niger Voices and all the fans. Yovo Fagbenyo say, former President Buhari did nothing. Interesting time ahead. I'm asking many Nigerians again tonight on the Star Radio UK.
This is Star Radio UK.
Do you think that former President Muhammadu Buhari performed very well? We are streaming on multiple platforms, so maybe if one is not comfortable for you, just join the other. And I guess the lighting, the sound, everything is working because we don't have generator tonight. Our mother, Mrs. Comfort, says, and I quote, "It did great destruction and things are falling apart." Mamawa Joka Baduri said, Buhari supported the Fulani to kill the Yorubas. Many of our farmers can no longer go to farm, and the question then is, did former President Muhammadu Buhari did his best? I am going and quoting from the interview he granted. Remember that he also went to say that women are meant to be in the bedroom after a visit to Germany. Do you think that the former president government was hijacked? Mr. Abiola Sulaiman Anyala, good evening to you. Idiroko, good evening to you. To all the borders surrounding Nigeria, I say shout out, and I hope the security will protect and make sure lives and property are secured. I don't know which party my wife belongs to, not me. This is what the former President Muhammadu Buhari told us in Germany. But she belongs to the kitchen, or she belongs to my kitchen and my living room and the other room. Which one be other room? Mrs. Joke Boduri, Mamada Dasope, kill Yoruba. Many of the farmers can no longer go to farm, and today, poverty. But we are begging every Nigerian, especially Yorubas, start Etile, start the little farming. Start planting something. Don't rely on the government. Start planting what you can feed yourself and your family. Even if you're living in the city, you can get a sack, get a sand, a bit of fertilizer, and you can grow yam. I'll be telling you more about that in the next few minutes. Let's go further. There's still more comment coming through. Thank you again, the golden voice. Did President Muhammadu Buhari perform very well, or should we say it was a total disaster? Again, the former president says in Germany, I don't know which party my wife belongs to. Maybe it's PDP, maybe it's AAC, maybe it's APC, but she belongs to my kitchen, she belongs to my living room, and she also belongs to my other room. So I claim superior knowledge over her and the rest of the opposition because in the end, I have succeeded. But when Buhari was asked during the interview on Monday, he felt his government may have been hijacked by cabal. So that means the former President Muhammadu Buhari's wife, the former First Lady Aisha Buhari, was right to tell Nigerians that his government husband has been hijacked by cabal because Buhari has just confirmed that. You can see why we need to bring Buhari for interrogation or inquiries. We cannot just allow him to continue to get visitors. It is time that the new administration set up a panel to invite the former president, everyone that worked with this government for collapsing the Nigerian economy. He says, and I quote, when the former president Muhammadu Buhari was asked during that interview on Monday, he said, and I quote, that he felt it that his government have been hijacked. Shout out to you, Mr. Sunday Ajayi Lawal, says Equato. Keep your comment coming. Be rest assured, I'll be reading those comments out for the benefit of all our listeners and viewers around the world. My name is still Olayomi Koiki, and my job tonight on this platform is to enlighten and educate you on some of the reasons why the Yorubas, Mrs. Sarah Oyelowo, it's been a long time. Oyelowo. I hope I'm not massacring these names, because sometimes my mom comes out and say, oh, that pronunciation not be the right one. Especially my brother there that is watching me from Lagos Island, Yemi Fatoki, not Fatoke, Fatoki. Ki. You can see the importance of the Yoruba language, but we can say, we are still trying after almost 2 decades and a half in UK with all my McDonald's, my Burger King, my KFC, my Nigerian food. I am still speaking a better Yoruba than somebody in Nigeria. So let me say good evening to you, Mrs. Sarah, a grandmother, and welcome to the program. The golden voice says the former president Muhammadu Buhari did nothing. All he did was mount the Fulani herdsmen to kill the Yorubas and damage all our crops. Very sad time ahead. Like I always say, we all have a role to play. I am just playing mine. I hope you are going to play yours as well. As we continue to educate many of us, including myself, I'll be telling you why self-determination is not a crime. Self-determination is a right. I actually had a video call with the Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho in Germany. It seems that it's getting colder and colder as well in Europe. I saw him with a jacket on. I guess he was, probably getting on the train or something. We spoke just for about less than a few minutes because I met somebody at the Excel Center during the London Business Show 2023 that took place, and I just wanted to, because some of the fans of Yoruba Nation. I also met a grandmother. Shout out to you, Tebawo, my grandmother. I met one of our grandmother for Yoruba Nation on the DLR. She came up to me and she said, Mr. Koiki, Munibeni, hey, I'm so happy to see you. We took pictures, and grandmother gave me something that I'm going to take away. She says, I said, grandma, you make sure you dress very warm. Grandmother said, me. She now showed me the jacket she bought on Amazon that is a heated jacket. I've never seen that before. It's the first time I'm seeing that. So she has this heated jacket on that each time she put it on, she get warm inside the jacket. Money grandma, ti jasi gone here. So God bless all our parents. God bless all our grandfathers, especially those that are in their 70s. They should have gone back home to Kenya, to Jamaica, to South Africa, to Ghana. But for so many reasons, and those reasons are healthcare. I don't expect people to go. Good evening to you, Mr. Ayinde Usman, Mrs. Stella Shodeinde Ekabo Sorieto. We love you all as you're all joining us. You can also help us to share the program. But most importantly, those of you on YouTube, we are not seeing much of you by thumbs up, sharing as well. Triple DRSA, he actually served his people, the Fulani, not Nigeria. Mrs. Comfort said he did great destruction and things are falling apart. As you're entering, Nuruddin Ajani Busari, good evening to you. You also went on to say good evening to you as well. Grandma Comfort Adeleye, shout out to you, mommy, and welcome to many of you that are silent listeners. We are still on the Buhari before we move into a different discussion. Femi Akande, shout out to you. Skido, Anthony Skido on Instagram. Tara Yemi, good evening to those of you that have joined me so far. And those of you that are our newcomer, let me do it this way.
Welcome.
I think I should give you one more.
Welcome.
Welcome to where?
This is Star Radio UK.
Welcome to where?
This is Star Radio UK.
And I also tell you to do what?
Are you ready to turn it up?
Let's turn it up. Let's turn it up. Let's turn it up. If you're driving home tonight, tell me what the traffic is. The traffic on my way to the studio was very good. It's the first time well, not the first time. I love the Elizabeth line. It's a very beautiful line. God bless the soul of the Queen that died. And God bless King Charles, for managing the affairs of this country. And one thing is, when you live in Great Britain, trust me, even if they've done so much that upset us, especially those of us in Africa during the empire period, you just have to give it to them. You just have to respect what it takes to save lives. And on behalf of the Star Radio UK, to the 4 young boys that died on Monday after the confirmation of the vehicle turning over, submerged into the water, to the family of these young ones, we pray and we hope that such a very sad incident will not come again anytime soon. For those that are also in Nigeria, many people that are struggling, many people that can't have 3 square meal, 001, 101, 001. I'm sure you know what I mean. You skip the breakfast, you push it towards the afternoon time, and then you use the dinner just to keep the body and soul. Things are getting very difficult in Nigeria. Things are becoming very hard, and this is where we go into the conversation. Once again, thank you so much, Mr. Akinlade Tama Isuk. If you're new to the platform, it is called the Star Radio UK. I love business, but the question is, what is going to be the new job of this new administration? Let's talk about business. Let's talk about opportunities. Let's talk about why Nigerians are not doing very well when it comes to startup. The new entrepreneur trying that little things, even if it's going to fail, but with the support of the government. As I attended the event today at the Excel Center in London, one of the biggest, if not second to the biggest, because I know there's a Birmingham Center as well that is so very important. The Excel Center hosts a lot of activities throughout the year. And today, the Star Radio UK team and myself, I visited the Excel Center for one purpose only, and that purpose was the London Business Show 2023. And as I was in that event, I looked at myself and I say, can we have this such opportunity for many Nigerians back home, where you can start up, where you can start that business of your dream, where you can even become a franchise to an organization that has already set up? My question is, what is in it for Nigerians? Many of you have completed your university. Many of you now wants to start life. Many of you want that just small opportunity. but those opportunities are fading away almost on a daily basis. So I'm asking again tonight, who should we hold responsible for the affairs of the economy of a country? As I was at that event, I felt the energy of many Nigerians that would have loved to have the same opportunity. Start up. Setting up a business involves a lot of things. Not literally the finance part, but you need the takeaways, the guide, the support from the government agency. I saw the UK government agency, from the trade to the, to those that can be able to support business owners that wants to export out of UK, but you must be operating in UK, and 20% of what you are producing has to be in UK. We have a lot of talent in Nigeria, but these talent are not working because the system is failing us. Like I said, as I visit this particular event in in the city, very close to the city airport, I could see the aircraft traveling back to back. I'm asking again, how do we support many Nigerians in this very critical time? They are crying, they are asking questions, and as the economy continues to bite, it is taking much longer for the help to come. So my question tonight is, how do we make sure that Nigerians that are crying out loud? I met a particular stand. They are into coding, and the moment we started having a conversation, I was told that many Nigerians make use of their platform for coding. Coding is a very, very important part of the new world. Data is also important. Once again, this is
Star Radio UK.
As I leave Buhari alone, because Buhari failed, and I hope they will set up a panel to investigate the 8 years. But I've been told, Mr. Koiki, don't worry yourself, it's the same party government like Fela Nicola Kokuti. God bless his soul.
This is Star Radio UK.
Culture Minister project $100 billion revenue from creative sector by 2030. Do you believe her? Do you believe when these politicians or these ministers comes out and tell us something that it is not workable? $100 billion, according to the Culture Minister, project a revenue from the creative sector within the next 7 years. Do you think this can happen? The federal government has unveiled a roadmap to drive the economy development and boost the country GDP, gross domestic product, by $100 billion through creative sector. Many Nigerians are talented. Many Yorubas are talented. Many Hausas are talented. Many people are talented. Good evening to you, Saliu Babatunde, and this is for you.
Welcome.
I'm asking the question, do you agree with Anatu Musawa, the Minister of Art, Culture and Creative Economy? According to her speaking yesterday at the Median Creative Economy Roundtable in Abuja, it's all about the roundtable. Mrs. Funke Orges, good evening and welcome. Welcome to where?
This is Star Radio UK.
Let us turn it up.
Are you ready to turn it up?
The best radio show. The best radio show.
All around the world.
In your car,
At work,
at home.
on your smartphone.
I'm asking my listeners around the world, mostly Nigerians, do you think that the federal government roadmap to drive the economy is possible? Mr. Adeyemo Titilayo, good evening to you. Gordon's Protection, welcome to the program. Speaking yesterday, another roundtable. It's all about the roundtable, but the same roundtable we had with Buhari and Yemi Osinbajo, but we saw the end result after 8 years. We've now started with another set of roundtable meetings. These cost money. Hotels are paid. Many Nigerians end up saying nothing. Anatu Musawa, the Minister of Art and Culture and Creative Economy, said Nigeria needs to showcase its creators and culture to the world. What culture is it talking about? Is it talking about the Yoruba culture, the Igbo culture, the Hausa culture, the Ifeki culture, the Shekiri culture? Because this is the reason why we are saying that Nigeria is not a one country. Triple DRS all the way in Woolwich. Good evening once again says, let them say what they want. I'm sure that is the last you will hear about the plan. Clueless people. We saw how we were told the same thing, the same rhetoric by the former cabinet minister of the then former President Muhammadu Buhari. The end result has not transformed to anything. Do you believe? Shout out to those of you and good evening to my family and welcome Mrs. Kendi Lawani. At 7:30 we go into the self-determination, but before 7:30 I have a good news with what we've partnered with today, and that is something that we got to share with many of you that are watching us from around the world, and you just want to stick behind because you might be of benefit, mostly those of you in UK alone, because this is a UK company. It is not a company that operates outside UK. So what I'm going to be telling you before 7:30 is got to do with many of you that reside in UK, where you can purchase and you can get it delivered, and you can be rest assured that the product is well known. So I'll be telling you a little bit more about that. Make sure you stay tuned during that period. Issa Makonjuola Babawa say all Nigerian government roundtable are fake and evil. Wow. Fake and evil. Grandma Felicia Ajagbe. Ajagbe. I hope I pronounced the name very well, Grandma. Ajagbe. Yeah, Ajagbe, yeah. I think I tried. Mokigawa Yawa, another Grandma Comfort Adeleye. Shout out to Nigeria Muslim Association in the UK. Shout out to all the Christian Association in UK. Shout out to all the traditionalists as well. I'm asking again. Do you think that we can create $100 billion from the culture? Showcasing our culture. Which culture is she talking about? She Yoruba culture, the Igbo culture. So if everybody then agree that we have a culture, the question I'm asking is, what is Nigeria culture? Roundtable discussion for 8 years under former President Muhammadu Buhari led to nothing but disaster. She said with the launch of the roadmap, the creative sector could contribute as much as 10% to the Nigerian GDP. As I was looking into this catalog of the Startup or Grow Your Business Dream, one of the biggest business events in London, the Uber, the Google, the Tinder, TikTok, the Apprentice, Too Good to Go, 750 exhibitors. Trust me, I could not even reach out to 10 or 20 of them. 750. I might have to go back again tomorrow if I am serious to catch at least 100 out of this exhibitor. But one of the exhibitor I can confirm we've decided to partner with so that we can move forward. But I'll be telling you the name of the brand, so make sure you're not going anywhere. Free expert advice from the world's leading businesses, franchises, future working show, working from home. Many Nigerians would love to work from home, but you need 24 hours electricity. You need the technology. You need the software. Do you know that I spoke to people right there that talked about export and import? But as a country, we refuse to export because we are just consumers. We consume it too much and we are not exporting out. 5,000 containers leave the offshore of Nigeria empty. Data is important. Like I said, do you think that security operatives connive with staff in ticket racketeering, according to the Nigeria Railway Corporation? What is going on in Nigeria? Do you think that Nigeria can survive all these? What more can be done? Again, like I said, the railway network in Nigeria. How do you make money when ticket racketeering is already going on? There is no way I think that can happen in UK. I have traveled today on a one-day travel card that would have cost me nothing less than almost £15 because I traveled before the peak period was over. The peak period in UK is from 9:30. If you're traveling before 9:30, you'll be paying a little bit more. But the services were good. It took me less than 40 minutes to get into Excel Center from my point of location traveling to Excel Center. The services were very good. The services were clean. But in Nigeria today, security operatives connive with our staff in ticket racketeering, according to the Nigerian Railway Corporation MD tells the reps panel. What is going on in Nigeria? Fidet Okere, the managing director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, says security operatives are also involved in ticket racketeering in the agency. How come? Fidet spoke today at an interactive section that was organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Finance on 2024-2026 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper. You can see why the country is not moving forward.
This is Star Radio UK.
Once again, 15 minutes past 1900 hours. At exactly 7:30, we go straight into the conversation of the self-determination.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
It was in October that one of the media paper in Nigeria exposed how some staff of the Nigeria Railway Corporation were engaged in fraudulent dealings by smuggling passengers into the trains, collecting cash from the passengers without remitting the fund to the official coffer.
This is Star Radio UK.
Wow. The fraud that takes place in Nigeria has eaten up almost everywhere. If things were done automated, if I have to buy the train ticket without appearing at the ticket hall, maybe we could have bypassed cash. As we speak in this country, I have traveled throughout the day and I have not used the cash. What I have used is my bank card that would then be automated back to the TFL. That means that there will be nobody that can interfere with the money that I am paying TFL. It goes straight back to TFL, and TFL use the money again to make sure that the services operate Monday to Sunday. But it is the reverse in Nigeria, where the Nigeria Railway Corporation is engaged in fraudulent dealings, smuggling passengers so that they can collect cash from them, and then the money doesn't go back to the government. And let me remind Nigerians, let me remind you on
This is Star Radio
that
UK.
the funding for that railway project was a loan, and we have to pay the loan back. But already, Nigerians are already sabotaging the loan that we are meant to pay back. The question then is, how long will it take us to repay some of the loan if this kind of criminal activities is going on in every part of Nigeria today? And you can see why some are saying that the problem in Nigeria is revolution. According to somebody like Olayomi, some of us are saying, no, we don't need a revolution. All we need is just come into the round table and ask if we want to remain one Nigeria. Some say it is all about the leadership. Can Bola Tinubu be the kind of leader? Do you think that this present administration of President Bola Tinubu will call for a referendum for the Biafra, the Yorubas, the Arewa, those that are asking for the right to self-determination? Sit back and let us tell you more about that at exactly 7:30. Once again, days after investigation, the Nigerian Railway Corporation announced that it will crack down on the perpetrator and also introduce an e-ticketing platform to tackle the menace, which I think should have been done in the first place. Because the corruption in Nigeria, the corrupt mind means that every part of Nigeria, somebody is trying to corrupt you. Let's go back again to the conversation with the culture minister. What culture is Nigeria? According to the culture minister, project 100 billion revenue from the creative sector by 2030. We are currently in 2023. So she is talking about 7 years from now, Nigeria will be making 10% into the GDP through what we call culture selling to the world. The creative sector contributed only 2.54% to the GDP in the second quarter of 2023, according to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. My name again is Olayomi Koiki. Shout out to my producer, shout out to the sound engineer, and once again, this is
Star Radio UK.
The best radio show.
The economy plan is aimed at creating millions of jobs supported by comprehensive skills training programs. Our objective is to contribute 10% of the nation's GDP, expanding the sectorial GDP to a remarkable $100 billion by the year 2030. Do you believe this, Minister? Or is it just another rhetoric?
The best radio show. The best radio show.
Grandma Comfort Adelaide said they shouldn't be surprised. That is their number. They do it every day in every sector and they all work together.
The best radio show.
Do you think that Bola Tinubu can tackle the corruption in Nigeria? Waris Jinadu, your shout out to you. Welcome, Ruth. Shout out to Mrs. Olajire Koka Ayo. Good evening to you. And those our silent listener, I welcome you to Star Radio UK.
Welcome.
This is Star Radio UK.
Ayodeji Additional. Good evening to you, sir. I'm asking the question again. Do you think that Nigeria can make $100 billion from the culture, program, skills? We are uniquely positioned in this great nation, endowed with abundance of human capital and boundless possibility. The question then is, why is that not becoming physically, practically, where many Nigerians in the 36 states will love to be entrepreneur, will love to be working in the private sector, the public sector, but rather every Nigerian wants to be a politician or someone working for the politician. Politics is the biggest problem in Nigeria. Election every 4 years cannot resolve the problem, but many Nigerians say that we should give this new administration of President Bola Tinubu the opportunity to transform Nigeria of our dream. I'm asking the question, should we believe this current administration, President Bola Tinubu? And the next question, as we go into the right to self-determination, is, do you think that this new administration of President Bola Tinubu would then allow a referendum in Nigeria, or are we just the play, as some of you will say? I'm asking again, do you think that before the government of President Bola Tinubu expired, within the next 3 years that is got left, I know he's done just less than 6 months already, but as far as I'm concerned, he has done 1 year. So this present administration have 3 years to go, and please do not tell me about the second term. Nobody knows what is going to happen. Nobody knows what might happen. So I'm asking the question, as we are preparing your mind into the right to self-determination, do you think that this current administration, this current President Bola Tinubu, will allow a seat of a roundtable discussion, or should we say that that cannot happen because we need that to be already in the constitution before that can be allowed? The Scottish people were given the right, and that right was exhausted in 2014, but 2 million people refused to allow the breakup of Scotland from the United Kingdom. They are asking for the same right. I'm not too sure whether the Westminster is ready to allow such again. At 22 minutes past 7 p.m. local time, let's quickly give you some of the other headlines coming out of Nigeria. Federal government stores salaries of 5,000 civil servants over discrepancies. It is unacceptable reps to probe revenue leakages on remitter platform. Interior Ministry seeks United Nations partnership on prison reform and decongestion. Why is our prison so full up? Many cases are sitting there for 3, 4, 5 years and nothing seems to be done. Akim Ayodele, my brother, good evening and welcome to Star Radio UK. So let me quickly give you some of what is happening. Kidnapping. Senate President asks Wike to revisit 460 million Abuja CCTV project. Another corruption that continue to endanger lives in Nigeria. CCTV, one of the most powerful tools used in Europe. From the point you leave your house, you are likely to be picked by 1 or 3, 5, 10, 20, 40 CCTV before you get to your destination. As I sit right now, I can see the CCTV in operation right here from the studio. I can monitor what is happening from outside. I can monitor what is happening from inside. I can monitor what is happening from the surrounding. That is the power of the CCTV. The question is, what happened to the $460 million for the Abuja CCTV? The Senate is now asking the FCT Minister, Nelson Wike, the former Rivers State Governor. Once again, this is
Star Radio UK.
The best radio show.
They're asking the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, to revisit the $460 million. These are huge money. We are not talking about £1 here. We're not talking about £2 here. We are talking about huge amount of money that would have been invested, that would have been used. But it seems group of people have swallowed the money like the snake and the monkey does in Nigeria. Again, Femi Adeni says, in the next 10 years, power go back to the north. Let's read that quickly. If the power goes back to the north, good evening once again, Akim Ayodele, welcome to the program, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Isaac Makonjuola, and many of you that are spending so much money to watch us from Nigeria, cost arms and leg. Femi Adeyemi, my brother, says, and I quote, in the next 10 years, should the power go back to the north, that Nigerian culture they want to introduce to the world might be Fulani culture if Nigeria still remain one. Are you concerned as an indigenous people that we are now being told that we can sell our culture? Which of the culture? Bini culture, Yoruba culture, Ishekiri culture? Iyawa Jokeb Bodunri says, Ole ni gbogbo won. So I am telling you the kind of corruption that has sucked Nigeria into a situation where you might not get this kind of startup dream. As you look at this evening, as I continue to review, and like I said to you, in just about 10 seconds, let's see if we can tell you what we have and what we partner with that might be of benefit to those of you in UK, especially if you want to look good and if you want to look great. So once again, this is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and I welcome those of you that have joined us. So what we're going to do quickly, let me just bring this up before we go into the conversation. Bear with me, those of you that are watching us. I've got something to share with us tonight. Yes, there's something great. There's a great news I want to share with us tonight. While we were saying all the time, there's opportunity. Opportunity also is something that we hope that many Nigerians will get such opportunity. So tonight on the Star Radio UK network, on the Niger Voices, we have decided, myself, Olayomi Koiki, to partner with Avon. Many of you know Avon. How many people know Avon? I'm sure many people knows Avon. If you know Avon, give me a thumbs up and say, yeah, Mr. Koiki, I know Avon. They've been around for a very long time. I'm sure some of you know Avon. So you must have come across Avon in the past, or it might just be something that you're hearing for the first time. If you're not living in UK, you will not know Avon. Mokibabawa Kende Oseni Salami, welcome to the program. So if you're familiar with Avon, if you're one of those that use Avon products, very good product that they have in the market, and they continue to expand. They're expanding very fast, and we thought we should also partner with them. So myself, I'm talking about myself now, we've decided to partner with them. So that means that if you want to help what we do, in what we are doing, as a person, we'll be sharing the links out. The links will be out in very soon on most of our platforms. So when you see that link, click on it, and you can you can order a brochure, which is what they started with, but everything now is digital. This is what we are saying. So everything in this catalog is digital, and you can order things from them directly from the website, and that will be posted to you. I don't carry any product. I am not carrying the product. My job, from what we have signed with them, is to tell you that this Avon, they've been in the market, is not new to some of you in UK. Some of you have probably buy from them. Some of you have also worked as a partner with them. So Olayomi Koiki have decided that we should partner with some kind of organization like this. It's going to help us in the future, and likewise help our community. It is only for those in United Kingdom alone. They are not going to post anything to Nigeria. So if you're in Nigeria, this is not for you. I know some of you wants to operate in UK, but you have to come and live here before you can order and deliver to them. Even PayPal doesn't work in Nigeria. Likewise, eBay doesn't work in Nigeria. So Mamawa Joke Boduri, so you will be my first customer, I'm sure. So make sure you call me so that I can share you my link, where you can then click on that. They have different things that you can buy from, from the lip gloss to the perfume to the, and their products are very good. I can tell you that. I've used them in the past, but I thought, why not? We can partner with some kind of organization like this, and we will continue to promote them as well. So you will be getting a special link that we will be creating out, sending that link out. When you come across that link, help us to tell somebody else and say, well, this is for your son, Olayomi Koiki. You can buy things for the Christmas, as the Christmas is coming. They have different things. They have discount as well. They have nail polish. They have lip gloss. They have, whatever you can think of, and like I said, many diaspora at some point, even if you have not, someone must have said, this is for you, and it might be an Avon product. So this is part of what we were able to gain from my outing today, and I thought it's a great news. We can share that with our listeners. We have good amount of you that are watching us on the Star Radio UK and the sister broadcast, so we hope that you will be helping us to push it so that we can get as many UK resident only. Again, UK resident only. If you're in Germany, it is not for you. If you're in Europe, it is not for you. You have to be living in UK. But if you are interested, you've gone into the catalog, you're in America, you're like, wow, I love this. As long as you have friends in UK that can help you to place the order, like I said, I do not carry the product. The product will be sent to you directly from Avon. My job is just, to be part of the organization, which is great for us. And we hope that as we start this good relationship with Avon, I'm sure it will lead to something good. So thank you so much again. People are confirming that on the platform tonight. Mrs. Comfort Ologunja says yes, their product is very good. Waris, to say Avon Cosmetics, your wives, your girlfriends, your mother. Most of our grandmother, they still use the lipsticks, they use the lip gloss. You might want to check them out. The good thing is you don't even need we still want the old school like me. I like old school. I want to touch something and feel it. So some of us want the catalog like this, but you can order the catalog by the time I send you my link. On my status, you'll be seeing that link. Click on my status. If you don't have my number, you want to take down my number now, +44. Okay, I don't know the number of it. I got to tell you the number. I got two lines, so +44 74 04 405917. You want to take the number again. If you got my status, you'll be able to find it there. You click on the link, it automatically take you to my own page of the Avon, which we have partnered with. So +44 74 04405917. I want to say who's going to be the first person to put an order. And again, right there, thank you so much. They've actually helped us to put the link out. Please let us put that link out as well on the Facebook as well. And likewise, because Mamawa Joke Boduri wants to order something from that. Next week, you might want to tell me what you've ordered and how you are enjoying that product. Christmas is coming. A lot of your grandchildren, I'm sure you can get something for them from it, and you can also buy a lot. So that is on the Avon. I'll be doing more of the promotion on that in all our other program. Now let's come back again as we are still on the...
This is Star Radio UK.
The best radio show.
Welcome.
Now, self-determination. Many of our Yoruba, and again, if you are not a Yoruba-speaking person, I will speak the Yoruba because this is a sponsored program from now till 8 p.m. and then we will do the summary in English. So the Yoruba language is one of the most beautiful language you can ever think of. Well, let me quickly wrap up the FCT. So the Upper Legislative Chamber took the position following the recent spat of kidnap in the nation capital city. The Senate asked security agency to probe the kidnap in Abuja, but there is no CCTV. So they are now asking Wike to go back and find out what went wrong in 2010 when this project was awarded to ZTE Corporation. It's a Chinese firm that was meant to deliver CCTV to Abuja, but again, that is just story as we know. So let's now come back to self-determination. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tí ó ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní wákàtí ní àsìkò yìí pé ẹ tún káàbọ̀ sórí ètò Star Radio UK lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
This is Star Radio UK.
Lọ́jọ́jọ́ Wednesday ni a máa ń wá sórí ètò yìí nígbà tó bá di aago 7:30 lálẹ́ ni a máa ń gbé ètò ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà wá fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá.
This is Star Radio UK.
Kí la fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lálẹ́ yìí? Oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ni a fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé, but èyí tí mo fẹ́ sọ fún wa tí ó máa dùn mọ́ wa nú jù òun ni pé ní èní sí ọ̀túnla èní níjọ́ Wednesday tó bá di on the 25th lágbára Elédùmarè bàbá wa Professor Banji Akintoye wọ́n máa ṣèpàdé kan àwa mọ̀ bóyá pàdé náà ó máa wá sórí afẹ́fẹ́ nítorí pé àìtí confirm ẹ̀. Àmọ́ ìtàn fi yé wa ni pé nínú ìpàdé tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí ní on the 25th ìyẹn oṣù tá a wà nú ẹ̀yẹ má bínú pé àmọ́ 25th pè lédè Yorùbá bí àtẹ bá wa kọ sínú comment section àkà síta. Avon has always been good Christmas gift package, so I'm sure mo ti ní one customer níbẹ̀ nìyẹn. Thank you so much. So ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa àtúnsọ̀rọ̀ nípa Avon yẹn bóyá ká sì dúró lórí self determination tá a wà lórí ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ lórí ètò.
This is Star Radio UK.
Àníṣe ní ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ yìí tá a fẹ́ mú yìí Jímọ̀ olóyin way forward ní bàbá wa Professor Banji Akintoye ló máa fi bá àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá sọ̀rọ̀ bí ṣe sọ àìtí lè sọ bóyá ètò yẹn máa jáde sórí afẹ́fẹ́ àmọ́ wọ́n ti fi Zoom link ránṣẹ́ sí mi. Ó wá dá kí n béèrè lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa bá wá béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn pé ṣé ètò yẹn ṣó máa wá sí live, bọ̀ tó bá jẹ́ kó máa wá sí live gbogbo apáta náà la máa rí. Wọ́n ní 15 bẹ́ẹ̀ ni 15 inú oṣù kọkànlá ọdún 2023 ìyẹn níjọ́ Jímọ̀ ìyẹn ìjọ́ Friday bàbá wa Professor Banji Akintoye wọ́n máa bá gbogbo ọjọ́ kedogun ẹ má bínú sí mi ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa a máa padà sí school ó ti di dandan a máa lọ kọ́ èdè yìí a gbọ́dọ̀ kọ́ ní kíkọ́ especially àwa tá à ń ṣiṣẹ́ journalist báyìí torí pé ńgbà tílẹ̀ Yorùbá bá dúró kò ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ náà la máa fi sọ òyìnbó bàbá tẹ̀ máa gbà wọn tó gbọ́ Yorùbá náà àwa náà gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́ díẹ̀díẹ̀. So mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan ṣe ṣe gan ni ẹ̀kọ́ àdúró tì wá mo kí gbogbo èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé a kú oríire sẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá dijọ́ Jímọ̀ bí mo ti ṣe ń sọ lọ bàbá wa Professor Adébánjí Akíntóyè wọ́n máa ṣe ìpàdé náà ó máa dá lórí way forward àti ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan tí ó jẹ́ kí a mọ̀ lórí ìrìn àjò yìí. Ìrìn àjò Yorùbá nation yìí ó ti lọ sí ọdún 3 lénìí lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan púpọ̀ ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ti dáadáa. Kí láwọn nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ òun ni pé lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ kó tó di pé a bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation a rí i pé wọ́n gbé wa lọ register sábẹ́ UNPO Unrepresented People Organization. A tún wá fi dá gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá létí pé rédíò tí wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí tí a sọ ní ọdún 2 sẹ́yìn rédíò náà ó ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ látijọ́ Saturday títí dijọ́ Sunday ní aago 8 sí aago 9 àmọ́ apps ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá fẹ́ download apps ẹ̀ ẹ kọ lọ sórí Google Play Yorùbá Nation Radio and TV ẹ bá níbẹ̀ mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa nílé àtẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Bàbá wa Fáàbù ní 25 ẹ ṣé gan ni ọjọ́ 25 oṣù yìí ọmọ lùbákà ṣe rí pé mo ti ń kọ́ èdè yẹn dáadáa. Wàrí Jìnàdù ní Nigeria is an artificial state with no international airline to all Yoruba naysayers. ọjọ́ 25 oṣù yìí bàbá wa Professor Adébánjí máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ bí ti ṣe sọ bóyá wọ́n máa gbé ètò yẹn live or not á jẹ́ kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá mọ̀ kó tó di ọjọ́ Jímọ̀. ètò kan náà ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní ìlú Ìbàdàn tí gbogbo wa náà ta ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ tí a ti ń wò lórí àwọn sister broadcast wa nílé. a rí pé àwọn ètò tí wọ́n ń ṣe yìí láti create tá à ń pè ní awareness náà ni. lótìtọ́ lódodo kò sẹ́ni kankan tó ní a máa gbébọn a máa pààyàn lórí pé a fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation. intan sọ ni pé ìjókòó àlàáfíà pẹ̀láwà àti ìjọba tèní ní ìjọba tàná ni ó ṣe kókó nínú ìrìn àjò yìí. lótìtọ́ mo tún béèrè pé ǹjẹ́ ààrẹ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ǹjẹ́ wọ́n lè ṣe referendum kí àwa tá à ń sọ pé a fẹ́ lọ kí a lè lọ. Once again, if you have just joined us, this is a sponsored program from Ìlànà Ọmọ Oòduà, and I'll be telling you in summary the discussion at exactly 8 p.m. gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá wá ń wò wá nílé tẹ́ bá láìkì àwòrán aṣọ tí ẹ rí tí ó wà lára wa yìí ẹ lọ sórí ọ̀dọ̀ sísítà wa lórí IG lẹ ti máa rí wọn dáadáa nítorí pé iṣẹ́ táwọn ń ṣe ni pé gbogbo ohun tó máa jẹ́ kí àwa lè máa jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ Yorùbá mọ̀ pé àwa rèé a ti dé. ìyẹn la ṣe sọ fún gbogbo wa pé gbogbo ohun tó máa ṣàǹfààní fún wa lórí ìrìn àjò yìí tí wọ́n bá ń rí wa ní kété ó jẹ́ kó lè sọ pé ọmọ Yorùbá ló ń lọ yẹn. nígbà tí mo ní mo pàdé ìyá wa kan ní Stratford láti jọ wọlé èmi wò wọ́n mo ní àbí kí n súnmọ́ mọ́mì wa yìí ǹjẹ́ Yorùbá ni wọ́n àbí Sierra Leone àmọ́ mo mọ̀ pé Áfíríkà ni wọ́n. àṣà àwọn ọlọ́sìn máa wá bá mi lórí ìjókòó nígbà tó rí mi wọ́n ní Mr. Koiki mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mà wọ́n náà ni mo rí fẹ́rẹ́ báyìí mo ní ó máa wá bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan mo dẹ̀ lo glasses. so àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tá náà fẹ́ dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè. ìdí tá a ṣe ń sọ pé a fẹ́ dá dúró kò ń ṣe pé torí a fẹ́ bá ìjọba jà a fẹ́ dá dúró kí a lè rí ògo wa lò kí a lè rí ọ̀la wa lò. ìdí tá a ṣe ń pariwo Yorùbá nation nìyẹn. lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i mo wá fi ń tó gbogbo wa létí pé ìrìn àjò Yorùbá nation yìí ìrìn àjò tó sì ń tẹ̀síwájú ni. ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ á máa béèrè pé Mr. Koiki ṣé gbogbo ẹ ti wá di bó ṣe dì náà ni. màmá sọ fún wa pé kò tí ì di bó ṣe di o nítorí pé ìrìn àjò pa fẹ́ gba ìlú kò ń ṣe ìrìn àjò kékeré. ìrìn àjò tó máa ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ iṣẹ́ nínú. iṣẹ́ tó wà ń bẹ́ẹ̀ jù náà ni pé ká máa dára wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ká máa bára wa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìdí pàtàkì. mo ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ibi tí mo lọ lénìí ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ lédè tiwantiwa. mo ní arìnrìn lọ síbi tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe ètò kan lénìí nílùú London tó ń pè ní láti dá iléeṣẹ́ sílẹ̀ láti dá òkòwò sílẹ̀. ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá fẹ́ dá òkòwò sílẹ̀ àmọ́ kò possible kò ṣeé ṣe nítorí pé àwọn ìlú tá wà nínú ẹ̀ tá ń pè Nàìjíríà kò fi ààyè sílẹ̀ láti dá òkòwò sílẹ̀. gbogbo ẹni tó bá tó wá fẹ́ dá òkòwò sílẹ̀ owó Nàìjíríà ṣe ni ó ń lọ sókè kò wá sísàlẹ̀. ìdí tá a ṣe náà fẹ́ dá dúró ìdí kan péré náà ni kó tó di pé a máa tẹ̀síwájú. lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ túbọ̀ bá wa fi líǹkì àwọn tí wọ́n ń béèrè líǹkì pé Mr. Koiki ẹ̀ ń polówó nǹkan kan lẹ́ẹ̀kan ẹ bá ti ń polówó ẹ̀ a máa bá yín sọ. àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá one people one culture lẹ́ẹ̀kan à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa pé wọ́n náà fẹ́ ta culture. ẹ má má jẹ́ kó ta culture wa nígbà tó bá ti di pé wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń ta culture wa tó má di pé wọ́n máa lọ máa sọ nǹkan tí kò jẹ́ kó sọ nípa culture wa àwa gangan ló yẹ ká ta culture wa fúnra wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá. èdè tí mo fi ń bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ yìí kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn ló lè gbọ́ tó o bá kọ́ èdè. àwọn tó ń gbé ní Turkey nísìn ó gbọ́dọ̀ lọ kọ́ Turkish kó tó lè máa gbé níbẹ̀. àwọn tó ń gbé ní Germany tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá gbọ́ èdè ó ṣeéṣe kẹ́ má lè gbé níbẹ̀ o. àwọn tó ń gbé ní Arab country gan ẹ máa lọ kọ́ Arabic díẹ̀díẹ̀ ṣuaṣua díẹ̀díẹ̀ láti fi communicate. ìdí tá a ṣe ń sọ pé a fẹ́ kúrò nínú Yorùbá nínú Nàìjíríà ẹ jẹ́ n kà fún yín a máa kà ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìyá wa tí wọ́n ṣe kínní pé Mr. Koiki gbogbo wa táwọn èèyàn bá ti ń rí yín tẹ́ bá béèrè pé kí ló dé tẹ́ ṣe fẹ́ Yorùbá nation, this is the reason why we want Yorùbá nation. mo máa ń kẹ́yìn ìyá wa mo ń kẹ́yìn bàbá wa mo ń kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ Star Radio UK, mo kí Grandma Comfort Adélẹ́yẹ, wọ́n ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ kò tó àti gẹ́gẹ́lẹ́ ló máa wá lọ́nà. Yorùbá nation tá à ń fẹ́ yìí ó máa wá sí ìmúṣẹ, àmọ́ àwa tí a ti fẹ́ pé a fẹ́ ẹ má yẹ ká tún mú ẹsẹ̀ kúrò nínú ẹ̀. Lótìtọ́ ohun wa pé kó wá lé ní ìgbà tó rẹ̀ tí wá yẹn kò ń sọ pé kò ní wá sí ìmúṣẹ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sórí ètò.
This is Star Radio UK.
ẹ bá wa máa darapọ̀ ní ọjọ́jọ́ Wednesday. The reason why we want to exit Nigeria, let me mention that quickly in this card. Once again, a very good evening and welcome to many of you that have joined us. As you are watching the program, remember to share, like, and also make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel on the Star Radio UK and the Star Radio UK. Lótìtọ́ a fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation. Lótìtọ́ ohun wa ká kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. But what are the reasons why we want to go? First, àwọn olóńpẹ̀ ní Yorùbá. Mo kí Jaya, mo kí Ìlànà Ọmọ Oòduà, mo kí branch ti America, mo kí ti Canada, mo kí gbogbo èèyàn wa tẹwà all over the world títí dé Malaysia. Ẹ jẹ́ kí wọ́n sọ fún gbogbo wa o, àìtí gba country o. There is nothing called Yorùbá nation country lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá ń sọ fún yín pé country kan ti wà tó ń pè ní Yorùbá nation, mo bẹ̀ wá mo rọ̀ wá ẹ̀tùtù ẹ̀dànù, kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Lótìtọ́ Yorùbá nation tá à ń sọ Yorùbá nation now kò tí ì di ìmúlú a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí. Nàìjíríà sì jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè tó ń bẹ tí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ń bẹ nínú ẹ̀. So bí àwọn kan máa ń sọ fún yín pé a ti gba country, a ti wà nínú country tiwa, a máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjọba tiwa, gbogbo yẹn ọ̀rọ̀ irọ́ ló ń bẹ níbẹ̀ o. Mo wá ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ̀yin ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n, ẹ̀yin ọ̀mọ̀wé, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ní làákàyè. Ibì kan ni mo lọ lẹ́ni nísìnyí 750 exhibitor, 30,000 entrepreneur, 350 speaker. How do you think all this was put together? Báwo lẹ ṣe rò pé wọ́n kó gbogbo ilé together? So kíyàn kan wá sọ pé àwa 60 million àwọn ti gba country, àwọn dẹ̀ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjọba yẹn dẹ̀ máa dé láìpẹ́ yìí. Wọ́n wá ń fà á, àwọn kan dẹ̀ ń jó, wọ́n ń yọ̀lé lórí. Ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó fáyàn ọmọ Yorùbá. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, ó lè wù yín pé ẹ fẹ́ gbà lẹ́ ń sọ, bọ́ pé ẹ máa sọ pé ẹ ti gba country. Ǹjẹ́ mo tó ń pè ní country? Ǹjẹ́ country wá jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tí wọ́n fi ń ta yín? You don't joke when it comes to a country. So again at 1946 on the...
This is Star Radio UK.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
The best radio show. The best radio show.
Yoruba freedom now. Oduduwa nation we stand. Yoruba are over 60 million. It is better to face ourselves, find where we went wrong, and solve our problems and speak with one voice. There is no way we can speak with one voice should we remain in Nigeria. Once again, this is a program sponsored by Ìlànà Ọmọ Oòduà. Looking at each other faces amongst states to lift up the less ones and turn our nation to a competitive nation in order to achieve better goals, that is good life for our children, the youth, and the children yet unborn. Just as I saw the opportunities, the networking of so many different businesses today, I want to see a Yoruba economy. I want to see a Yoruba policy. I want to see and witness in my lifetime, just as the Scottish are still demanding the right to self-determination. I want the Yorubas as a country to operate and work, set up business, network, operate and make sure that we are well taken care of. Nigeria has failed us. To become a great nation, the Yoruba nation, the Oduduwa Republic, the Oduduwa nation, ẹ má worry nípa orúkọ tó ń pè nísìnyí. If some of you think that it is meant to be Yoruba Kingdom, all that can be rectified when things have been set up. Mo kí àwọn tó ń darí ìlànà ti US àti Canada, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí ìlànà UK. To become a great nation where there are the same natives, the same culture and tradition. Kò wá mí pé tá a bá wá gba Yorùbá nation. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ máa ń béèrè pé àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù tó ń bá wa gbé, what do we do with them? Whoever lives in the Yoruba land, as we speak right now, they will still be living with us. We will not tell them to go away, but they will be accounted for. They will be recognized. We will make sure that they have data that links them to the Yoruba government. Just like I am not an alien living in this country. While I was at the event today, during some conversation, during my interaction with a particular organization, I was told to identify myself. And I was told if I have any form of identification, not, and I brought out my driver license. I was asked how long I've been living at my current address. I told them. I was asked if I was registered on the voters register. I said yes. So when some of you are concerned about those that are living presently in the Yoruba territory, when we have a Yoruba government will account for everyone. Nigeria cannot account for everyone. As we speak today, Nigeria failed when it comes to data collation of how many Nigerians are truly living in Nigeria and how many foreigners are living with us. It's a country that do not want to have an accurate census, because an accurate census, self-determination kò ń ṣe ìjà. Self-determination is about explanation, láti ṣàlàyé fáwọn èèyàn ìdí kókó tó ṣe pàtàkì tí ìran Yorùbá gbọdọ̀ fi dúró. To become a great nation, we cannot have that. Tabashi wà nínú Nigeria. Nigeria has performed its best in the last 63 years. It was a forceful union that brought the amalgamation in 1914 by Lugard. It is time now that we de-amalgamate it in a constructive way so that it does not become bloody. We do not need another civil war in Nigeria. What we need is a roundtable discussion. Mo wá tún béèrè lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá láàárọ̀ yìí, àbí lálẹ́ yìí, àbí nírọ̀lẹ́ ní wákàtí àsìkò tẹ́ bá wò ó pé ǹjẹ́ federal government President Bola Tinubu can give a go-ahead to a referendum. A sì máa sọ reason, ìdí pàtàkì, ìdí kókó tí ìran Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ fi exit from Nigeria. Once again,
this is Star Radio UK.
Yoruba Kingdom, no going back, according to Abdullahi Omobolaji.
The best radio show.
Mo kí bàbá wa Olamide Aliu. Mo máa ń kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń bẹ ní Ìwéré Ilé, gbogbo ibi tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe jàǹbá fún ìran Yorùbá, kọ́ba Elédùmarè kó wà pẹ̀lú yín níbẹ̀ o.
The best radio show.
Ẹ kú kalẹ̀, ẹ kú jókòó, mo kí ẹ Orizu Emmanuel Ikechukwu, welcome on board.
Welcome.
Àníṣe àwọn tó ń béèrè fún Biafra náà ẹ̀tọ́ wọn ni, àmọ́ ìran Yorùbá là ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Having a Yoruba country does not mean that we will have hatred, enmities among those that we have lived together already before.
All around the world.
Yoruba people are great people, intellectual, but some are saying that we should be careful because the present administration is a Yoruba man. Bola Tinubu is not asking right now for the dissolution of Nigeria. He's not asking for the referendum for Nigerians, even though we are asking whether he might give such. Bola Tinubu is working on the manifesto of the APC, promising Nigeria a better economy, a better country called Nigeria. So gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ń sọ pé ká ṣe sùúrù pẹ̀lú Bola Tinubu, we don't have a problem with that. But ṣe rántí pé Buhari spent 8 years, and that 8 years was just like that. Tinubu time is already tickling. By the time Tinubu completes his tenure, I am asking you, do you think that we can continue to live in denial? Mukibabawa Adegboyega Celeb. Up Yoruba Nation, Mr. Koiki. Almighty God strengthen you, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí orí ètò Star Radio UK. We're still. Reasons for the Yoruba to exit from Nigeria. The Yoruba are indigenous people before the British amalgamation in 1914. Nigeria was forced upon us for the last 108 years. This has literally created injustice and atrocity. Púpọ̀ náà ọmọ Yorùbá wọ́n sì wà in abject poverty. Púpọ̀ náà ọmọ Yorùbá cannot set up a business. Púpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá are entrepreneur, but they are trapped in the present day Nigeria. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ẹgbẹ́ GR1. Mo kí bàbá wa Alhaji Alabi. Mo kí sister wa Ṣọlá kò gbọdọ̀ kú. Mo kí sister wa Ṣọlá Sàlàkọ́. Mo kí Ajagun dáadáa. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ẹgbẹ́ Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà. Wọ́n ní weekend yìí wọ́n máa ṣe 100 years anniversary of Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà or something of such. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Ọmọbọ́lájà Abdullahi said Nigeria is going to be bred by January. Hunger is outside. Adex additional. Shout out to you. Raji Kolapo Mukinsa. Ola King. More money. Except ẹ̀kalẹ̀ lórí ètò.
This is Star Radio UK.
Tó bá jẹ́ lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ tẹ́ máa darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ ṣe bá wa pín ètò náà kẹ́ bá wa ṣe ìfẹ́ sí kẹ́ bá wa sọ fáwọn èèyàn pé lọ́jọ́jọ́ Wednesday kó pàdé wa lórí.
This is Star Radio UK.
Nítorí pé gbogbo àgbáyé ló ti ń gbọ́ wa.
All around the world.
Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa.
Welcome.
5 minutes before 8 p.m. We're just 30 minutes before the end of the program. As I said, reason for the Yoruba to exit from Nigeria. Increasing on terrorism and banditry, killings, raping, kidnapping, racial abuse to our sisters, our fathers, our mothers, our grandfathers from their farmland. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ò lè lọ sí oko mọ́ báyìí. Mo kí àwọn tó ń pè ní tó wà ní Kogi, Abdullahi ní kí máa bá wọn kí ìyá Kogi o, Chief of Army Staff.
Welcome.
On a serious note, Yoruba is not a country yet. Do not be deceived by anyone. Do not be scammed by anyone. We do not have any diplomat at the United Nations. The only person representing right now at the United Nations are those representing Nigeria.
The best radio show.
Once again, celeb. Okay, mo kí Yaya Alabi Lawa. Ẹ má bínú tí mo bá porúkọ yín dáadáa. Mo kí Okichukwu, mo kí Ruth, mo kí sister wa náà ní Canada. Mo kí Ìwà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀wà, mo kí Yèyé Oge, mo kí sister wa ó tó jẹ́ mẹ́ta tá ti rí wọn Abibat. Yeah, it's been a while. I hope everyone, wherever you are, as we continue to ask for the right to self-determination, that is not a crime.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Àwọn bòròró wọ́n ti gbalẹ̀ mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. Wọ́n dẹ̀ sì fẹ́ gba ilẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ wa. Ẹ má ẹ̀ kọ́ gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá tó bá ti gbalẹ̀ mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ àti wà nínú wàhálà nìyẹn o.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Àníṣe tàbá ní a fẹ́ dá dúró kò gbọ́dọ̀ dìjà kò gbọ́dọ̀ di wàhálà.
All around the world.
They're occupying all the position. Àmọ́lẹ́ni, nepotism is what is being played again. Buhari played the nepotism for 8 years. Tinubu tried to balance the situation, but as we know, it will not gamble. So gbogbo position tó dùn ló kó fáwọn ọmọ Yorùbá. So we can no longer blame Buhari for that. We were talking about the port authority, the airport authority, immigration service, customs service, military, police. Nigeria has failed us and it is now not working. Moki America Adebayo Ekabo Sorieto.
Welcome.
We are now towards the final part of the program. We are meant to have an interview with an organization, but unfortunately we couldn't get that set up because I want to be sure that everything is still operating and working as it's meant to be on the Star Radio UK, which we are so pleased with. There's been a lot of upgrade. I can tell you that, from the studio here, there's a lot of upgrade, as from last week. Things have been amended. There's no sound at the background, and there's still more work to be done. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo wa pé kò ní sú wa, kò ní rẹ̀ wá ní àwa tí a fẹ́ dádúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè. Now, for the benefit of those that did not understand what I said in the last half an hour, it's all about the reasons and who we are as Yoruba people. There will also be a meeting way forward on Friday, the 25th of November 2023, by the leader, the only leader of the Yoruba self-determination. I am not saying the leader of the Yoruba group right now. It is the leader of the Yoruba self-determination under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akintoye. Professor Banji Akintoye will be having what we called will be speaking to us right on. Sorry about that. There's a slight, need to quickly see if we can bring that back up. We lost one of our transmission, and we hope we can get it back on as quickly as possible. Once again, a very good evening to those of you that have joined us, and welcome. While we wait for that to pop up, it is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I say good evening once again.
This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
In your car,
At work,
at home.
on your smartphone.
Are you ready to turn it up?
So let's play something just to wind down a little bit. This is who we are. We are Yoruba people, and we love who we are, as we always say. Thank you so much once again to my producer, Mr. Frank David, Mr. Archie, and we go and listen to this short one, and then when we come back, we will continue with the program. Once again, a very, very good evening to many of you that have joined us. Yoruba Nation, it is non-negotiable. Yoruba Nation, it is who we are and what we want.
Barcelona,
and
London,
we will
Paris,
continue
the Canaries,
to
Bilbao,
ask for
Oviedo,
that
and loads
nothing
more cities.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbé lè mọ́ padà bọ̀.
This is Star Radio UK.
The best radio show.
Well, break it up now so that we can have a better opportunity. That better opportunity is no longer in Nigeria through our TNSO self-determination. Lókè bàbá wa Ẹniọlá Adéwálé Olúwaṣeun ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. And very good evening, we are just 29 minutes to the end of the program.
Welcome.
One Nigeria has killed many Nigerians. I'll be telling you some of the headlines. Greetings once again, Babawa Adeboye. We love you and we appreciate you for joining us. Our greetings to Loyi Sunday Gbowo and Baba Akintoye. Definitely a fantastic message this evening. Shout out to those of you that are still with us on this broadcast tonight. Yoruba Nation is not negotiable. Yoruba Nation
ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà ń pariwo no more wọn Nàìjíríà Yorùbá World Congress ń faraya bírèkì tó ní sẹ́yìn o Yorùbá World Voice dẹ̀ ń pariwo Yorùbá Nation ní ìsìn o
very good evening once again.
This is Star Radio.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
In your car.
At work.
At home.
As we now prepare the program coming to the final part, I say good evening once again to many of you that have joined us. Shout out to many of you that are watching us on all the platforms. My name is Olayomi Koiki. Good evening to you in Lagos Island, in Surulere mainland, in Banana Island, wherever you are in Nigeria. I say good evening and welcome once again. Once again, we are happy, we're excited to tell you the good news that you can also now buy your product directly from Amazon through our own link as well. So if you're one of those that have been using Amazon, Avon rather, you can now make sure that the link that will be shared with you, you can easily get it from us as well. Once again, a very good evening and welcome to you all. I say shout out to many of you that have joined us. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and as we are now towards the final part of this program, I welcome every single one. Shout out to Professor Banji Akitoye, shout out to the YSDM, shout out to many of our platforms around the world, and welcome once again as we are now towards the final part of this program tonight. It's 5 minutes past 8 p.m. local time. The weather is very beautiful. We are just under the British weather where things get very cold. That is Sister Janet. As I said, there's a lot happening. I'll be telling you what you need to know. 5 things we learned from the Jonathan Van Tam at the COVID inquiry. Like I said, next week we'll be having the former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, Rishi Sunak, all will be attending the COVID inquiry. This is exactly what we want. We hope the President Bola Tinubu will set up an inquiry to what led to Nigeria today being what it is. As we almost getting ready to give you the last part, I say thank you so much to everyone that have joined us. We're just adjusting things at the background there, especially when things can easily just snap off during the program. It's been an amazing evening once again on the Star Radio UK, the 22nd day of the month of November. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and I'd like to appreciate my producer and also those of you that are still with us tonight.
UK.
And we leave that for now, and then we'll come back into the final part of the program at 8 minutes past. And I guess we're back on. We lost a bit of the transmission on the sister broadcast, but it's back up and running. I'd like to appreciate every single one of you that have joined us. It's been that beautiful night again, where we we don't want to go, but again the time constraint means that at some point we'll have to go. Prince Amachi, thank you so much to all the Biafrans as well. Good evening. We hope that Nnamdi Kanu will get his freedom back before the end of this year. It will be a great thing for us to see Nnamdi Kanu getting his freedom back.
This is Star Radio UK.
As we are preparing the end of the program in just 20 minutes, let us go back and review some of the headlines coming out of Nigeria this particular evening on the Star Radio UK.
This is Star Radio UK.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Some of the headlines coming out this today, I'm going to be taking you through some of those headlines. Anyoshola Joshua, Samuel Afolabi, Adedayo Oni, Shitu Omoomi, Ayinde Usman, Mufi Tawoto, and Mufi Kibubuipe Ekabo Sorieto. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go straight into some of the headlines that I got this morning, from Nigeria. And I hope that as we prepare to give you those headlines, you will start asking questions. How did we get to where we are today? Once again, shout out to every single one of you on all the platforms that have joined us this particular hour. Okoya Folayo, happy birthday to Dr. Zabi, the chairman of the Yoruba World Media, on behalf of the...
This is Star Radio UK.
Dr. Zabi she's currently, I'm sure some of you know who Dr. Zabi is. She's currently, the chairman of the Yoruba World Media, the media that talks about the Yoruba self-determination. Let us say happy birthday to Dr. Zabi.
This is Star Radio UK.
Happy birthday to those of you that are celebrating in the month of November as well. The month is currently going out. By this time next week, we will be coming up to tell you that we are now almost getting into January. So I'm sure some of us are looking forward to that. So this time next week will be the 29th day of the month of November. We might have a guest that will be joining us. I'll be telling you more about that next week. This time next week, it will just be less than 24 hours before the month of November will be completed. By the time we go into Friday next week, we'll be talking about the new month of December.
This is Star Radio UK.
As all these continue, the question again many of you will be asking is, what more can be done, to leverage on what more can be done. How has been the year 2023? It's been a roller coaster, depending on which side of the coin you are. Whether you are for Nigeria, whether you are for self-determination, it has been a roller coaster. But we are still here. We are grateful that we are still here. Thank you so much to everyone that have joined us. Thank you so much for those of you that believe in us. Thank you so much for those of you that have engaged us, and many of you that still stand with the truth and nothing but the truth. The truth is that the Yoruba people are not happy with the current state of things in Nigeria, and that is the reason why we are saying we do not want to be part of Nigeria.
This is Star Radio UK.
And as we prepare you, let's take you again to some of those headlines as well. Tinubu, I will find a way to get into the Guinness World Book of Record. I'm sure he will. Approximately 20 million plastic tons are dumped into our lakes and rivers and oceans annually. That is the same as 20,000 cargo ships. It is a garbage that, in addition to changing our ecosystem, species can take hundreds of years to degrade and negatively affect human health.
This is Star Radio UK.
Now, let me tell you a little bit about, okay, I'm not sure we have the headline for today right here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go back here and see if we can capture it. Let's go first and tell you some of the headline as we prepare to exit. There was a travail of the Osun Chief Judge Adepele Ojo. Remember that the governor of Osun State, Adeleke, decided not to go ahead with that. Tinubu has finally returned back to Germany, to Abuja from Germany, after telling Germans that we need investors. Road crash claim 128 people in Lagos State. Wow. According to the FRC sector commander, Babatunde Fanriloye disclosed that 376 road accidents have claimed 128 lives in Lagos State. Once again, Mr. Tosin Adeniyi, good evening to you. Smaden secure 5 billion loan, target 10,000 SME. Do I believe it? I don't think so. Many Nigerians need support, but I'm not too sure whether those support is going to come through that loan. Federal government shared 906.96 billion to the state, local government, federal government, state, and the local government shared 906 billion. That's a staggering amount of money in the month of October. I hope your local government chairman have done the needful.
This is Star Radio UK.
Petrol price rose to 630.63 naira per litre in October, according to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics.
This is Star Radio UK.
Federal government unveils a portal for startup registration. This is quite interesting. And if you think about what the federal government is doing, you might think about the event that we attended today called the London Business Show 2023. So let's see what the federal government wants to do, unveiling this portal for startup registration. The federal government has announced the launch of a portal for the startup support and the engagement portal. The portal, which is a key to requirement of the implementation of the Nigerian Startup Act, is meant to drive the identification and aggregation of startup in the country. Do you believe that? I find it very difficult to believe the government. This is actually coming from the Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Busun Tijani, disclosed this yesterday on the X space. He tweeted, "We are pleased to announce the launch of a startup support and engagement." Let's see if the link is working. They've actually kept the link here. Let's see if that link works. I never trust the government. So let's see if the link is working. Okay, unlocking Nigeria innovation potential with the Nigerian Startup Act. Get started. About the Nigerian Startup. The Nigerian Startup Act 2022 provide incentives, structures, programs for Nigerian startup to capitalize growth, create value, build a foundation to export tech enabling services. The Act also creates the National Council for Digital Innovation and Entrepreneurship, whose primary mandate is to align national policy for the development of the startup and establish programs to support tech enabling. Maybe some of you want to check that. I don't know how far it is true, because I never trust the government.
This is Star Radio UK.
30 minutes before the end of the program, I'm going to tell you more about what is happening in the news network in Nigeria, or some of the news as well. Court declare Buhari's appointment of the SCC chair secretary illegal.
This is Star Radio UK.
Appeal court admit clerical error in the Kano judgment CTC. What is going on in Kano? Remember, someone told us during the program that Mr. Koiki, there's something brewing up in Kano. Maybe we should read that as well on the...
This is Star Radio UK.
The Chief Registrar of the Court of Appeal, Umar Bangari, on Wednesday said there was no contradiction in the court judgment on the Kano State governorship election. There had been several interpretations of the judgment following a discrepancy between what was read out in the open court and the content of the certified true copy of the judgment.
This is Star Radio UK.
At the open court, the three-member panel led by M.A. Adume upheld the judgment of the Kano State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which sacked Governor Kabi Yusuf of the NNPP, New Nigerian People's Party.
This is Star Radio UK.
However, in the concluding part of the CTC, it read that the issue was resolved against the APC and its candidate. The New Nigerian People's Party, during a press briefing in Abuja today, accused the court of appeal of changing the judgment after the judges have concluded deliberation on the matter.
This is Star Radio UK.
However, reacting to the controversies, Bangari said what happened in the judgment certified true copy was a clerical error.
This is Star Radio UK.
Army Zero banditry kidnapping cases in Kano, according to the commander. That is coming as well. We told you article visit Almata offers scholarship to indigene as well. Minister threatened to sack corrupt coronation service officials. Reps inaugurate committee to curb oil theft. Ajayi Gabriel, shout out to you.
This is Star Radio UK.
So now let's go back and see one more from the another newspaper, and then we start winding down on this part of the globe. My name again is Olayomi Koiki. This time next week, we're going to be preparing for what we call the end of November. So let's go straight and see what more is happening from the next newspaper in Nigeria before we end the program.
The best radio show. The best radio show.
Another sad news coming from Ekiti State. A deaf and dumb man kills farmer in Ekiti State. According to the command spokesman, DSP Sunday Abutu confirmed the incident, saying the assailant was there in their custody. The Ekiti State Police Command says it has commenced an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the alleged killing of a farmer by a deaf and dumb person on the diseased farm. What a sad story.
This is Star Radio UK.
The incident occurred at Ikpole Farm Settlement, Agbado Ekiti, in Ayikeri local government development area on Tuesday evening yesterday. The trouble started when the disease, identified simply as Sikiru, aka Bado, accosted the deaf and dumb known as Sunday Alabi, accusing him of regularly coming to steal produce from his farm.
This is Star Radio UK.
The suspect was said to have turned violent, pouncing on him, leaving him with deep machete cut on his head for having the effrontery to challenge him. What a sad one.
The best radio show.
We're just less than 9 minutes away. Tinubu calls for regional integration at ECOWAS second ordinary session. Mrs. Okbeoluwa Astrop, thank you so much for joining us on the Star Radio UK.
Welcome.
This is Star Radio UK.
In your car,
At work.
at home,
On your smartphone.
in your car,
At work.
at home.
On your smartphone.
What happened between Nigeria and ECOWAS? ECOWAS and Niger, I wanted to say. It seems that everything has gone quiet. No more military intervention. Maybe the ECOWAS have now accepted Niger, the coup junta.
In your car,
At work.
at home.
And the
On your
last headline is
smartphone.
coming from the federal government revokes 1,633 mining titles, warns illegal miners. So many of them operating in Nigeria. On Tuesday yesterday, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, announced the revocation of 1,633 titles for defaulting on payment of annual service fees. So people were given license and they were not paying titles. Nigeria, a corrupt country.
This is Star Radio UK.
At the news conference Abuja yesterday, Mr. Dele Alake said that in compliance with the law, the Mining Cadastral Office, MCO, on October 4 has begun revoking 2,213 titles. Those included 795 exploration title, 956 small-scale mining license, 364 quarry license, 94 mining lease, the minister said. The question is, how do we get to a stage where we're losing so much money in a country that has got too much economy quickly? Governor Idris presents 250.1 billion naira for the 2024 budget to the State Assembly. We talked about the federal government, the state, the local government share 906 billion last month, according to the FEC. Edo Jigawa Delta recorded the highest average retail price of 12.5 kg cooking gas in October, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. Borno, Gombe, Zamfara paid highest retail petrol price in October.
This is Star Radio UK.
The CBN defers 293rd MPC meeting again despite expectation. Federal government records over 1 trillion naira monthly revenue inflow after subsidy removal. Finance Minister.
This is Star Radio UK.
So the question is, after the removal of the fuel subsidy, why is the country still in bit of problem? Well, this is how far I can take you tonight. My name is Olayomi Koiki. I'll be back again same time next week. Remember to follow the Star Radio UK on the social media, the YouTube. Remember to download our apps. If you'd like to reach out to us, +447539661744. Remember to follow us on the X as well at Star Radio UK. You can also send us an email at info@starradiouk.com.
This is Star Radio UK.
Well, Nigeria go survive. I'm not too sure if it will survive, but it seems that the current administration says they will do everything to make sure that Nigeria survive. As I leave you tonight, I say thank you so much. Have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of the time that you're going to be spending before you go to bed, depending on the time frame in the country where you are. It is currently 25 minutes past 8 p.m. local time in London. In Nigeria, it is 25 minutes past 9 p.m. because you are 1 hour ahead of us. The other time will be different in America, in Canada, in Japan is already in the morning. Somewhere in Australia is already in the morning. New Zealand and the rest of the globe, wherever you're watching from. If you love the kind of outfit that we're putting on tonight, you can always check out Omita Culture on the IG, and you can get a training from them as well. You can also get fashion tailored to your own taste. I love this because it gives us what we call Oriolokun, which is one of the most important part of who we are as Yoruba people. Thank you so much for those of you that join us tonight. Thank you for those of you that will be watching this again. Thank you so much all the way in Ifo local government, 191 local government across Nigeria. For the Yoruba side, I say thank you so much. As I leave you tonight, once again, Dizzy Man 123 says thank you so much. The confidence in the Nigerian judiciary is at all-time low base on the judgment of the court. Thank you so much, Mr. Ganil Iresi. If you don't comment, I cannot see your comment. Thank you so much to my mom. Thank you so much to Easy Dollar. Says Koiki Media, more strength to your elbow, brother. Thanks a lot. Mrs. Elizabeth Adesonya, thank you for watching. You can remember to subscribe, to follow us. It is very, very important so that we can deliver the message. On Friday, like I said, I'll be updating whether the program will be live or not. But Professor Adebanjo Akintoye speak to the Yoruba people on the way forward. I can't wait to hear from our father. Once again, thank you so much, Mamawa Joke Bodunri. I'm sure you'll be waiting for my link for the Avon. Once again, if you've just joined us, only for those of you in UK, we are now partner with Avon. So that means you might want to buy from my own channel. I'll be sending the link out. You can also follow the link from wherever we are going to be posting it. When you click on that, it's a digital brochure. You can also order the manual brochure, but this is only those who do for you in UK. If you're living outside UK, you cannot place order. The order comes directly from Avon, and that goes straight to your doorstep, wherever you want to buy, especially as the Christmas is approaching. Gift is something that we love giving, especially in the UK, where even those of us that are not Christian, we still give gift and we accept gift as well. Some might say, oh, we are Muslim, we don't accept Christmas gift. You have the right not to accept it. But in a world that we are living today, the Yorubas are not people that are religious bigots. We love every religion, regardless of that religion. We appreciate it whether you're Christian, you're Muslim, you're Hindu, you're Buddhism, or whether you believe nothing. But one thing is, everyone has influence. Our attitude and level of happiness are reflected in the things we say and do, and those affect others. What kind of impact do you usually have? So once again, if you love to order something from Avon, you might say, Mr. Koiki, I remember you said on your program on Niger Voices that you can now order from your own link. I would love to participate and help you as well. That is the only way you can also appreciate what we do. So if you're one of those that love the product or you've not used it before, you might want to try. They have different stuff, especially as the Christmas is approaching. They do a lot of discount sales as well. So make sure you get the link from me and click on that link and make sure you're buying from that link, and that way you're helping our brand as well. Thank you so much, everyone. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and this is how far we go tonight. I'll be back. I got an account already. Okay. Well, if you have an account, we appreciate that. Thank you so much for letting us know. Some people have got an account already, but again, if you have an account and you still want to also help, there's nothing wrong in that. But thank you so much, our grandmother, all our mothers. We love you all. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and this is how far I can go. I will say good night, and I expect my producer to take over from me. Ó dàárọ̀ títí di ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ lágbára Elédùmarè kí a tó tún pàdé. Èmi náà ni Olayomi Koiki tí gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí Koiki. Thank you so much. This says I'm going to watch the program again. As I say to you, I will leave you now with this before we go. Bye for now.
Yoruba nation la fẹ́.